Some women are not tired because they are healing. They are tired because they keep trying to explain their healing to people who were never meant to understand every part of it. They keep explaining the boundary, explaining the distance, explaining the silence, explaining why they changed, explaining why they can't keep showing up the same way they used to. And if that is where you are right now, this message is for you. Because healing is already hard enough without feeling like you have to defend it. You do not have to explain every change God is making in you. You do not have to give everyone the full story of your becoming. And stay with me until the end. Because if this message speaks to your heart, I want to guide you to the next step in this healing journey. Healing changes what you can tolerate. Many women do not over-explain because they are weak. They over-explain because somewhere along the way, they learned that being understood felt safer than being honest. So they explain the no, explain the boundary, explain the change, explain the distance, explain the silence. Not always because they want to, but because part of them still believes that if they explain themselves well enough, they will be accepted, kept, or forgiven for changing. But healing begins to teach a different truth. You do not have to over-explain what is costing you peace. You do not have to make your healing easier for other people to approve of before you honor it. Sometimes over-explaining is not clarity. Sometimes it is fear asking for permission. And beloved, you do not need permission to become honest. This is one of the quiet lessons of healing. Not everyone is entitled to the full story of what God is doing in you. Some people only knew the version of you that kept everything open, everything available, everything understandable. But healing changes that. Healing makes some things private, sacred, protected, not secretive in a dishonest way, but guarded in a wise way. Because not every person is safe enough for every part of your becoming. Not everyone will understand why you got quieter, why you started saying no, why your energy changed, why your tolerance changed, why your peace matters more now. And that does not mean you are wrong. It may simply mean your healing no longer fits inside the expectations other people had of you. You are allowed to let your life change without writing an explanation for everyone who notices. This is important. Your healing does not become more valid because other people understand it. Your peace does not become more holy because other people approve of it. Your boundaries do not become more real because other people agree with them. And sometimes women delay healing because they are still trying to make it make sense to everyone else first. But peace is not built that way. Healing is not built that way. Some of the deepest rebuilding happens when you stop performing your growth for public comfort and start honoring what your soul already knows. You know what has been too much. You know what has been draining. You know what has been costing you. You know what your spirit can no longer keep calling normal. That knowing matters. And you do not have to keep turning your healing into a courtroom argument just to feel allowed to follow it. That is exhausting. Let your healing be real without making it explainable to everyone. There is a kind of peace that only begins when you stop explaining yourself so much. when you stop trying to manage everyone's reaction, when you stop trying to sound reasonable enough, when you stop trying to prove you are not being selfish for changing, that is where peace can begin to breathe. Because over-explaining keeps you emotionally tied to people's interpretation of your life. But healing loosens that grip. It teaches you that not every choice needs defending. Not every boundary needs a speech. Not every distance needs a paragraph. Not every quiet season needs translation. Sometimes peace sounds like this. This is what I need now. This is what no longer fits. This is what I am honoring. And I do not need to over-explain it to make it true. That is not harshness. That is steadiness. And for many women, steadiness feels unfamiliar at first because they were taught that being good meant being endlessly understandable. But healing teaches something gentler. You can be kind without giving everyone unlimited access to your inner life. This is where guilt tries to step in. The moment a woman starts protecting her peace, saying less, or stopping the long explanations, she may wonder, am I becoming selfish? Am I becoming too hard? Am I pulling away too much? But listen carefully. Gentle rebuilding does not make you selfish. It makes you honest. Honest about what you can carry. Honest about what no longer fits. Honest about what your peace requires. Honest about what access has cost you. And honesty can look strange to people who were more comfortable with the version of you who explained everything and ignored herself quietly. But that does not mean your healing is wrong. It may simply mean your healing is real now. You are not becoming cruel. You are becoming clear. And clarity is one of the kindest gifts a woman can give herself. Before we close, let your heart sit with this for a moment. Where are you still over-explaining what your soul already knows? Where are you still trying to make your healing easier for others to accept? Where are you still asking for understanding before giving yourself permission to be honest? And what would it feel like to let your healing be true even without a full explanation? Let that sit, because maybe peace is waiting on the other side of fewer explanations and deeper honesty. If this message is speaking to your heart today, say this quietly with me. I do not have to explain every part of my healing. I do not have to defend what is bringing me peace. I do not have to make my growth easy for everyone else to understand. I am allowed to honor what my soul has learned. I am allowed to protect what is sacred in me. I am not becoming selfish. I am becoming honest. I am rebuilding with truth, clarity, and peace. If this message found you today, let this be your reminder. You do not owe everyone the full story of your becoming. Some things are meant to be honored quietly. Some changes are meant to be lived, not defended. Some healing is meant to be protected before it is explained. You are allowed to stop over-explaining what your soul already knows. That is not selfish. That is not hardness. That is not distance for the sake of distance. That is wisdom. That is healing. That is gentle rebuilding. If this message spoke to your heart, write this in the comments. I do not have to explain my healing. And when this video ends, watch next. Healing changes what you can tolerate. Because once you stop over-explaining what no longer fits, the next part of healing is learning to honor what your peace can no longer keep carrying. Subscribe to Dream Life Diaries and continue this gentle rebuilding journey with us. You do not have to defend every honest step forward. Not everyone needs the full story of your healing for it to be real.